Entitled Pregnant Mom Asks Us to Be Kid-Friendly. This was from a couple years ago. I remembered while going through Snap Memories. My friends and I went to a bar to celebrate a birthday, and they had an open mic karaoke there, so immediately my friend, let's call them V, started singing Kiss Me More. This M comes up to our group and says that we shouldn't let our friends sing songs that degrade women like that, especially when there are kids around. We looked around, and there weren't any kids in the bar. So we asked her what she means. She said that she's pregnant and she doesn't want her child to have to listen to all that crap music. We were all tipsy at this point and we thought she was joking and started laughing because we were in a smoke-friendly bar. B, she didn't look pregnant. My friend responded by saying she's not pregnant and she said, I am pregnant. I am 7 weeks pregnant. We laughed again. We were tipsy 21 yos. We didn't know better. Obviously, we pissed her off. Cause then she went and yelled at the bartender saying we were rude to her and that we should get kicked out. The bartender didn't even care to stand and listen to her. She then tried yell at the guy controlling the karaoke, but got humiliated and had to leave the bar. Be abusive to employees. Say bye-bye to your job. My former boss was, simply put, an absolute fucking asshole. He was the type of person that had the ability to be so condescending while acting as if he was doing you a favor. His condescending attitude was sometimes downright abusive, and he seemed to have a particular problem with all of the female employees. He acted as if they were dumb and needed assistance with every step. He loves to scream at people regardless of how little their mistake was, if there even was one. He was a slave driver and expected everyone to sacrifice their own personal lives for their job. The thing that sparked this revenge was him telling me to miss my older sister's birthday to come into work on a day that I already booked off. No one liked him. Me and all of my colleagues in the department, around 10 or so, couldn't stand him being here anymore. So we did the protocol. All of us piled together the evidence we had of him not sticking to booked off holiday schedules, having inappropriate and sometimes abusive language, and we brought it all on one Google Doc. This was step 1. Step 2 was getting a cherry on top. We did this by getting him to do one of his screaming tantrums at one of us. We wanted this to be as damning as possible, and the youngest and smallest girl out of all of us volunteered to be the bait. She made an intentional beginner's mistake in her paperwork, something bound to get her roared at. And the idiot took the bait. You see, he likes to do his scoldings in front of all of us to prove a point, or rule by fear, as he called it. This gave us the perfect opportunity to film it from behind our desks and add it to the Google Doc. Now you see, in our company there's this really not well-made email system. You can send an email to an entire department, and I mean entire as long as you have its name and manager's name. But the thing about this was the fact that all of this information was completely and freely given to employees. This means that a person could send whatever email they want to the entire company, including the CEO. So one morning at 10 a.m. to ensure that as many people would be working as possible, we made a burner email and sent the Google Doc through an email to everyone in the company. It took a little while as there were many departments to get through, but we got there in the end. We gave the email the subject, boss's name, vital information, branch name, department name. Of course our boss received the email as well, and you could basically hear the clutter from his office, as people all over the company were contacting him to ask him what the hell this was about. I would like a raise and time off, and I want to start this off by clarifying that it is not my story. It's the story of someone very close to me, and I will leave out a large amount of specific detail because quite a bit of info is not mine to reveal. The build-up to the revenge is that this person had a horrible employer. She worked HR and managed payroll at what was effectively a nursing home. I don't know that they call themselves that, but it's what they are. The company had a bit of a good old boys club going on, with all of the highest level management being older men, who all did less work and got more pay than pretty much everyone else. There were regular complaints from women about being mistreated, and many women were fired for absolutely absurd reasons, followed by their male coworkers getting raises. That in and of itself was bad, but it's not what instigated the need for revenge. What caused the burning desire to get back at the company was when the company fired my friend's manager, who was a woman, because she took a week off after literally breaking a leg badly. The HR department was already badly understaffed, so my friend had to take on the responsibilities of this manager without any pay bonus. She requested a pay bonus multiple times, denied each time. A month or so later, the company hires a new manager to replace the old one at nearly twice the salary. This new manager is an older man. I'm not entirely sure what this guy actually did during the day, because my friend continued to do all of the managerial tasks, and she knows that for a fact because the guy's account didn't have access to the systems he needed access to, and he never asked for that access. For 6 months, my friend showed this manager issues with their system, including payroll, and explained that she was not only the only employee who knew how to use the payroll system, but she was the only one with access to it. The sexist douchebag ignored her and made regular comments about how she was replaceable and useless. One day, she loses her shit. She set up a bot with her credentials to automatically assign her pay each pay period, according to her actual salary, so not stealing or anything. She then carefully plans her next move and puts in her 2-week notice, right before a large department-wide week off, and right before her only coworker has a 2-week vacation. She wouldn't have time to train the coworker even if the coworker was in the country. The manager still dismissed her, thinking he could just hire someone who knew what they were doing. Little did he know, she had tweaked with the payroll software over her time there. Nothing super awful, but it was very different from what the base software was. She was the only person who knew how to properly use it, and the only person in the whole company, including the CEO, who had access to the necessary numbers to actually run the payroll. When she leaves, after the 2 weeks, the company has to whole pay periods where they do not pay their employees. They can't, but my friend still gets paid, because they never disabled her automatic payment thing. They couldn't. Eventually, they called her and basically begged her to consult with them on their payroll. For the past 6 months, she has been paid $250 an hour for 5 hours a week to run the company's payroll, fully remote, even though it was an in-person job before. And to top it all off, she doesn't even actually work the 5 hours. She wrote a script on her personal device to process payroll for her. She just has to press one button. She's working another job now, but damn, she really kicked them in the ass for their shit. Tifu by walking my boyfriend's cane corso alone. My BF has a large cane corso. He's a beast in size and height. He's a little bigger than average, but he's a sweetheart. He is trained very well and is friendly and very gentle with little dogs and cats. That's not the problem. He's about 150 pounds, is pretty much pure muscle. I took him on a walk today because my BF was sick and couldn't do it. Now me and this dog get along well. He's always happy to see me and whatnot. Before I left for the door, my BF told me good luck with Sergeant. It's the first time walking him on my own. I am by no means a weak person. I'm on the heavy side and quite strong, but this dog is too much even for me at times. He doesn't pull on the leash or anything, he will walk beside you. Here's the problem. He's very lazy and loves water, like lakes, beaches, ponds, whatever you could think of. Big bodies of water. About 20 minutes into walking him, I brought him around a pond with benches so I could sit for a bit and just relax. Big mistake. Second he sees the pond, he starts running at full speed. I didn't even have a chance to tell him to heel or anything. Face plant right into the ground. I broke my glasses in the process. Glasses just shattered. I got a good scrape on my arms and it was bleeding everywhere. I kid you not, Sergeant practically flung me with ease. I'll admit I just stayed on the ground just to take in everything that just happened. A bystander asked if I was okay, and I told them I was, and he gave me some napkins to clean off some of the blood on my arms. Sergeant isn't the type of dog to run away, so I decided to just let Sergeant just do his thing and enjoy the water since he was already in it having a blast. He's already soaked, so it didn't matter to me. After a few minutes he got bored and came back to me all tuckered out. Checked to see if I was okay. I tell him it's time to go home. He poops down and just refuses to get up. After about 10 minutes of trying to get him to stand up and walk, I realized the only thing I could do was pick his lazy ass up and carry him home. It's only about a 5-minute walk, so I thought it shouldn't be that hard. So I pick his fat ass up and holy shit was he heavy. I held him up by his lower half while his front legs are just dangling in my shoulder. He's still soaked and because of that my shirt was drenched. It took 15-ish minutes to get him home. I put him on the floor as carefully as I could and my BF laughed at me. My back and legs were so sore my body was shaking. Safe to say I'm never walking that big baby alone again. Ever. Edit. If you're wondering how I carried him, I do weight training with my BF. It was the fact he bolted out of nowhere. Also he was good the whole time. Walked besides me without pulling till he saw the pond. Thought he could handle it, I was wrong. Also I weigh 220 pounds and I'm around 5'7". I'm heavy, but I've lost around 70 pounds so far. Edit to people worried about him biting someone etc. He always has a muzzle on. He's a friendly dog, however, because of breed and size people are scared of him without one. So you don't have to worry about what if he ran and but someone.